Hello and welcome to Sportingways.com. My name's Thomas Rooney. I'm joined by Joe Rooney once again. We're going to be looking ahead to the final round of Premier League fixtures for the 2011-2012 season. 10 games on Sunday, so an action-packed afternoon. So we'll look at each game and a couple of thoughts on each team and sort of what's at stake for them on this final day. We're going to start with Chelsea versus Blackburn, which is a 3 p.m. kick-off on Sunday at Stamford Bridge. Talking about Chelsea to begin with, and obviously they won the FA Cup, which was fantastic, and some much-needed silverware as far as they're concerned. They've lost their last 2 Premier League games though, so a defeat either side of that, including a comfortable defeat against Liverpool during the week. There's kind of no real surprise really, because they've had so many distractions with the sort of the major finals and stuff like that, and you know their league form has been sacrificed slightly because the team selection, you know, he did leave a few key men out of these last 2 games in the Premier League. They'll definitely finish 6th, which is poor by their standards. And just quickly on Di Matteo, I just still think he has to win the Champions League to guarantee getting the permanent job. I'm not sure, you know, what Abramovich will do if they don't win it, but if they win it, he'll guarantee himself the job, and also they'll guarantee themselves Champions League football. But home to Blackburn this weekend.
Yeah, I mean Blackburn, they were relegated after their defeat to Wigan, weren't they? And they didn't really put up much of a fight in that game. I don't think they even managed a shot on target in the first half, which is shocking considering what a massive game it was for them. And I know they've lost 7 of their last 8, so they've hit bad form just really at the wrong time, haven't they? Protests from the fans even at 0-0, which I found is just strange, isn't it really? It was just, they were making a lot of noise, but it was such a horrible atmosphere in the ground, sort of with protests towards Keane and the owners, of course. But you know, Keane, it's possible that he might even stay still, and you know how tough the Championship is, and it could be really dark times ahead for Blackburn, definitely. You going for this one, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's kind of an obvious one for most people who would predict this. I think it's going to be a comfortable Chelsea win, regardless of the team they play, because Blackburn are just stay down and sort of beaten really. So I'm going for 5-0 to the home side.
Yeah, echo your thoughts there. I just think it's going to be a comfortable win. I've actually gone 4-0 to Chelsea.
Okay, next up we've got Everton versus Newcastle. We'll have a 3 p.m. kick-off on Sunday afternoon in the Premier League. Talk about Everton to begin with, and going into this final day, they're a point ahead of Liverpool. So obviously their main aim, sort of on this final day, is to make sure they stay above their local rivals. That would be a very good achievement, considering the spending power of each team. Obviously Liverpool have spent quite a considerable amount more than Everton. Last couple of games has been frustrating, a couple of draws, but on the road. So that's solid form from Everton, like it has been in 2012 really, and kind of like every other team at this stage of the season that hasn't got, considering they haven't got to fight for survival or fight for Champions League. They just want to finish the season on a high really, and sort of go into the summer with some momentum. And talking about the summer, I think if David Moyes spends wisely like he did in January, bringing Jelavic and Pienaar back in on loan, if he does that again in the summer and keeps who he's got at the moment, I think they could maybe really push on for a top 4, top 5 finish. So you know, exciting times for Everton, and that's credit to David Moyes and what he's assembled there, because they are still going strong.
Yeah, I mean Newcastle, they're relying on other results this weekend. They could still finish in the top 4, and they could actually still finish 3rd, but you know, they're relying on other results, and but win is the only option here for Alan Pardew's side, definitely. Lost at home to Man City last time out, but you can't really criticise them. It was such a massive day for Man City, and it was just that bit of class from Yaya Toure that separated the sides. And you know, when Man City are on their day, they're pretty much unbeatable, aren't they? So they're guaranteed 5th, Newcastle, which is just a fantastic achievement, isn't it? You know, they're in the Championship 2 years ago, survived last season. This season, people would have been having them down as possible relegation candidates, second season, everything. But no, what a fantastic achievement from Alan Pardew, definitely.
Yeah, prediction for this one, I actually think it's 2 good teams who are both capable of goals, and I think it's going to be a score draw and sort of an entertaining game. So I'm going for 2-2 in this one.
Yeah, I think Everton, they're solid at home at the minute, in a good run of form, and I just fancy them to nick this one. I've gone Everton 2, Newcastle 1.
Okay, next up we've got Manchester City versus Queen's Park Rangers, another 3 p.m. kick-off on Sunday afternoon in the Premier League, and one of the biggest games of the day, no doubt whatsoever. Talk about Manchester City to begin with, and it really could be the best day or the worst day in their history, because win the game, and then the league is theirs. If they drop points, then Manchester United win, and they could pick them to the title. So it really is, a massive game for Manchester City. Obviously, their home record this season is fantastic, the best around, probably the best in Europe. You probably might say they've won 17, drawn just the once, which was against Sunderland of all teams. Excellent win at Newcastle last time out, under pressure. 2 good goals from Yaya Toure, and that's kind of the game that everyone maybe expected. If they get through that one, the league could be theirs. So it's a different type of pressure, because everyone's now expecting them to win the league. There were some people that expected Newcastle to get the points, but nobody's expecting QPR to get anything in this one. But the Etihad Stadium will be rocking, and it could be a fantastic day for Manchester City and their fans.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, QPR, they're not going to just roll over City, are they? There's still plenty to play for them, and point keeps them in the Premier League, which is a massive incentive for them. That's even if Bolton win, so they'll want to go out there, put in a good performance, get a point, then not even have to worry about what Bolton are doing. Jibril Cisse scored in the 89th minute against Stoke in the last time out, which was just a massive goal for them. So put it in their own hands, and there really is, as we know with QPR this season, as much as any team, there's still time for twists and turns yet, and you wouldn't rule them out. Bolton going and getting a win, QPR losing, you just don't know how to call it this season, really don't. What are you going for in this one, Tom?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the home side to get the points and then therefore win the Premier League title, which they fully deserve after their run in the recent weeks. I'm actually going to go for Manchester City 3, QPR 1.
Yeah, I think Man City, they're just flying at the minute, and they're in fantastic form. Too much for QPR. I've got Man City 4, QPR 0.
Okay, next up we've got Norwich City versus Aston Villa, another 3 PM kickoff on Sunday afternoon in the Premier League. Obviously for Norwich, a superb performance at Arsenal last time out, got a 3-3 draw, which is a fantastic point for Paul Lambert and his team after what's been a disappointing spell really in the league. They counter-attacked superbly. Grant Holt led the line, probably his best performance for quite a few weeks, and not many teams score 3 goals at the Emirates, so that's credit to Norwich for that. And they now want to finish the season sort of with a win, because they've had a fantastic season regardless, but they haven't won at home since the 24th of March either. So a win at Carrow Road to finish what has been a really good season back in the Premier League would be just what Paul Lambert and his team want. They still could finish high as 11th as well, which would be his added motivation. So a big day. They can enjoy and celebrate and relax, but they'll want 3 points to go alongside that.
Yeah, Aston Villa, they're now all but safe, aren't they, because of their superior goal difference to the teams around them. They managed a point at home to Spurs last time out, which during the game when Bolton were 2-0 up and Spurs were down to 10 men, they would have been a bit anxious about, but with Bolton drawing, and then it's actually now looking like a good point for Villa there, which has pretty much secured them safety. They're going to just want this season to be over with. They want it finished, definitely. They'll be relieved that they don't need anything from this game as such, because had they have needed something with the form they've been in, you wouldn't have backed them to get anything, I don't think, and they haven't actually won away from home since January, so players will be looking to come out and put in one last performance for their fans, just maybe give them something to cheer about. Last game away day, it should be quite a good atmosphere, like you said, and they'll just want maybe one last win. That's what you're going for this one.
Yeah, this one I think it's actually Norwich to get their points. I think Villa's sort of can relax a little bit more, which means their performance will probably dip. Not that it needs to dip too much for them to lose an away game, but I actually think Norwich will nick the points 1-0 to the home side for me.
Yeah, I can't really see Villa winning on the road after their recent run. I've gone Norwich 3, Aston Villa 1.
Okay, next up we've got Stoke City versus Bolton Wanderers, a 3 PM kickoff on Sunday afternoon in the Premier League. Talk about Stoke to begin with, and obviously they've been safe for quite some time now. They've accumulated enough points over the course of the season to have their top flight status intact, so fair play to them for that. They did lose later on against Queen's Park Rangers last time out though, and although that's not disappointing in sort of the context of the season, on the actual day they'd have been very disappointed to concede late on. They've also only won 1 of the last 11 games in the Premier League, so very disappointing for Tony Pulis and his team. I think it's a really important summer for Stoke as well, because this season they've had their first taste of European football. They've finished mid-table again, like they have done the last few seasons, and you just wonder whether can they push on again and keep doing this, or is this the start of the decline, which maybe the recent form shows. So they'll want to go into the summer on the back of a win. So 3 points in this one, condemning Bolton's relegation in the process would be a good way to end the season for Stoke City.
Yeah, I mean Bolton, they conceded a late equaliser at home to West Brom, a goal that could prove crucial in their fight against survival. I mean they were 2-0 up in that game. They were somewhat, well, they never played too well, but they were cruising in a way that West Brom didn't look like threatening them. And then 2 goals out of nowhere, and they find themselves with so much to do on the last day. They have to win this. It's as simple, and they have to hope that QPR lose, which obviously is the more likely scenario of QPR losing. But you never know in this season, of course. And it's been a dramatic season for Bolton, as we know. And has it got a happy ending in it? It just might do. You never know. Captain Nigel Coker has come out and said that he's confident that they can beat the drop, which of course he's going to have to come out and say. He's not going to come out and say, no, I don't think we can do it. But they will have the confidence of seeing what Wigan did at Stoke last year, and that a win is possible there. Wigan went there won there on the last day and kept their Premier League status, you know, so we're going for this one.
I think Bolton will slip up. I've got a feeling that Stoke will hold firm, and I think it's going to be a 0-0 draw, which would mean that QPR stay up and Bolton go down.
Yeah, I think Stoke, nothing really to play for, not in the best run of form. Bolton, massive game in their history. I think they're just going to sneak this one. I've gone Stoke 0, Bolton 1.
Okay, next up we've got Sunderland versus Manchester United at the Stadium of Light, another 3 p.m. kick-off on Sunday afternoon in the Premier League. Talk about Sunderland to begin with, and it's been a difficult spell for Martin O'Neill and his team. They haven't won since the 24th of March, which is a disappointing run. Goals have been really hard to come by as well. They kind of lost a bit of that killer instinct in front of goal. They're still 11th somehow, though. I don't think that they tend to not win for a while, but they're still comfortably in the middle of the table. But in fairness, they have, they've gone on a winless run, but they've drawn quite a few games as well. So that's probably why they're still, they're ticking along in the middle of the table. They could still finish in the top 10 with a win in this one, and that would be a great achievement for Sunderland, especially considering how much they were struggling earlier in the season. And you kind of think they'd love to have a big say in the title race and beat Manchester United in this one. The home fans would love that, and don't rule out a John O'Shea or a Wes Brown own goal of hat-tricks. I don't know. That could happen, but yeah, Sunderland will be really looking forward to this one and sort of getting stuck into the title race.
Yeah, Manchester United, they've just got to do their bit, really, haven't they? They've got to win the game and then hope that City slip up, which is possible. Of course it is. Their game against Swansea last week, they got the job done there, which was a tough game because it was a strange atmosphere at Old Trafford because Man City had just had a very impressive 2-0 win at Newcastle, so there was a lot of pressure on United to then go and do it, and it was strange. They were scoring goals, but then they were running to get the ball and put it back on the spot just to score as many as possible. But like I said, it's the same again this week, just go out and win. That's all they can do now, isn't it? Regardless of whether they do take the title in the end, I think it's still a massive summer for Manchester United. I mean, we all know what spending power City have got, and they'll probably bring in a couple of $100 million worth of players. There's no limits to what they could bring in. So Manchester United, they've got to spend wisely, and Ferguson, he's got to make some really smart signings. I think to challenge for the title again next year. So what do you think of this one?
Yeah, actually, I think United will get the win, but as of we've already predicted, certainly we both did, that City will win, so it's not going to be enough to win the title. But I think Manchester United will win an entertaining game, so I think Sunderland will come out fighting. I think it's going to be Sunderland 2, Manchester United 3.
Yeah, I can see quite a cagey affair in this one actually. I mean, let's say Sunderland have been struggling to score goals. Manchester United, they'll no doubt be nervous, and I've gone for Sunderland 0, Manchester United 1.
Okay, next up we've got Swansea versus Liverpool, another 3 p.m. kick-off on Sunday afternoon. Talk about Swansea to begin with, and last time out they were far from disgraced at Old Trafford, were they? I mean, Manchester United needed to win the game and win well. In the end they won 2-0, so Swansea, very respectable scoreline as far as they're concerned. And in this home game, which is the final day of the season, they'll be celebrating a great season. They fully deserve to enjoy this day, and they'll want to finish with 3 points, but regardless they've had a fantastic season, and they deserve to celebrate this one and sort of have a good atmosphere at the Liberty Stadium. Having said that, they won't want to drop from 12th position where they are at the moment, because obviously the higher you finish in the league, the more money you get, and the more respectable it looks, especially for their first campaign in the Premier League. In terms of their recent form, they've only won once since beating Fulham on the 17th of March, but to be honest, they've done enough during the course of the season to fully deserve their place in the Premier League. But they would love it. 3 points against Liverpool would be a great way to end the season. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, Liverpool, they lost the FA Cup. Lost the FA Cup final, last time out, didn't they, at the weekend. Hugely disappointing for them. It's sort of their only real chance to make up for what's been a poor season in the league. To deliver the Cardiff FA Cup would have been difficult for people to moan at them, really. They did then play Chelsea on Tuesday evening in the league, and they were 4-1 winners in there, and they looked a lot better. They looked a very good side. Sort of been wondering where that side's been all season, really. And especially Andy Carroll, he was looking settled. He was on fire. He was winning everything in the air. And he absolutely bullied John Terry. There's no doubt about it. And he had the cop shouting his name. One Andy Carroll. It's the first time I've heard it from the Liverpool fans. And they've just got one incentive now this season. That's to finish above Everton. And that's not exactly what they would have been setting out for their ambitions to be, but still, finishing above Everton would restore a bit of pride, I think, in Kenny Dalglish and his side. Would you go for this one?
Yeah, I think Liverpool will get the win. Whether it's enough to finish above Everton, I don't know, but I think they will get the win. I think Swansea kind of, a bit of a party atmosphere. They might take their head off the prize a little bit, or their focus off. So I'm actually going to go for a 3-1 win to Liverpool.
Yeah, I think both sides not too much to play for, but both wanting to finish the season strong. I think it should be a good game, plenty of goals. I've gone Swansea 2, Liverpool 2.
Okay, next up we've got Tottenham versus Fulham, another game on Sunday afternoon in the Premier League on the final day of the season. Talk about Tottenham to begin with, and obviously a lot to play for on this final day. A win guarantees them 4th place, whereas and a win also, if Arsenal slip up, could get them 3rd place. So plenty of motivation for 3 points, and that's what they'll be looking for. Last time out they drew at Villa Park, but they were down to 10 men, so in the end a decent away point and could prove crucial in the end. In terms of looking a bit further forward, obviously their attention will be very much on this last game, but Harry Redknapp, who's going to be there for a while now, you would think, he said they need to make some bold signings in the summer, and sort of to go into the summer, sort of to attract the better players, they definitely need Champions League football. So this is a massive game for them. They'll be encouraged by their better form in the last few weeks, but 3 points are a must for Tottenham this weekend.
Yeah, Fulham have had an excellent record against their fellow London clubs actually this season. They want that to continue. They won't let that slip. Guaranteed 9th position, and they could actually finish as high as 7th, which would be a fantastic achievement for Fulham. They're done really well. They've kind of gone unnoticed a little bit, but they've been fantastic, no doubt about it. And they're going to want to build on that in the summer, no doubt. They're going to have to keep, if they want to move on and push on as a club, they're going to have to keep the likes of Dempsey at the club and add a couple of players to come around him. And 4 of their last 5 wins have been by the odd goal, so it does just prove that they do have the quality up front just to win the games, and then the defence just to see them out.
Yeah.
So, they've been very impressive actually. That's what you're going for in this one.
Yeah, I think as impressive Fulham have been this season, I think it doesn't matter if they lose this one, it's still been a great season for Martin Jol's first full season. I actually think Tottenham will get the points in this one because it means that bit more to them, and they have looked back to their best in the last few weeks. So I'm going for Tottenham 2, Fulham 0.
Yeah, I just think massive game for Tottenham. I can't really see anything other than a Spurs win for this one. Fulham, not too much to play for really. I've gone Tottenham 3, Fulham 0.
Okay, next up we've got West Brom versus Arsenal, another game on Sunday afternoon in the Premier League. Talk about West Brom to begin with, and obviously Roy Hodgson's been appointed as England manager, but he's staying on at the Hawthorns, so this will be his last game in charge of the club. And it goes without saying that a win is the aim to finish on a high. I think he'll get a really good reception from the fans as well, because you can't blame an Englishman to come and manage England, you really can't. And he's taken them in contention for a top 10 place in the Premier League, which is as high as they've ever been. Now I can sort of say that they're in pole position for 10th place and get something in this, and they probably definitely will get there. Other than that, it depends on a few results around them. They can go in with confidence, 4 games without a defeat, and it'd be a great way to finish the season if they could get 3 points against Arsenal. Yeah,
Arsenal, their last home game was the 3-3 against Norwich, which, despite how Norwich were very good in that game, Arsenal will be frustrated, and it's a game that they should feel like they're winning. They now need to win here to guarantee 3rd, and they failed to win, they could actually finish 5th, which would just be appalling for Arsenal, there's no doubt about it. I mean, they've signed players already with like Lucas Podolski's coming to the club, which would be exciting for them next season, no doubt, but they've got to keep hold of Van Persie, they've got to secure that deal, because he simply has to be at the club if they're going to move forward and challenge for the title next year. The pressure is massively on Arsenal here to get all 3 points, no doubt about it.
I think they will get all 3 points, but I think it's going to be a really topsy-turvy game, because I think West Brom will play good football, will come out and sort of attack, so they've got no reason not to, whereas Arsenal obviously are fantastic on the road sometimes, counter-attacking, so there's going to be quite a lot of goals, but in the end I'm going for West Brom 2, Arsenal 4.
Yeah, I think West Brom, they're going to be going out wanting to put a big performance in for Roy Hodgson. Arsenal, after that frustrating draw last week, I don't know, I can see it. I can see a draw here again. I've gone West Brom 2, Arsenal 2.
Okay, next up we've got Wigan versus Wolves on Sunday afternoon, the final game to look at for the final day of the Premier League. And obviously it's a game that we expected to mean quite a lot a few weeks ago, but actually both teams have had their fate decided. Talk about Wigan to begin with, and obviously they can relax in this one. A fantastic achievement, they've stayed up against all the odds really. A few weeks ago you wouldn't have given them a chance given their run of fixtures, but Roberto Martinez has turned on the style for his team. He's got manager of the month, and quite a telling statistic, a remarkable one really, is that of their 40 Premier League points this season, they've picked up 20 since the start of March.
Incredible.
Which is, and considering the teams they've beaten as well, is just it's a remarkable run, and they fully deserve to stay in the Premier League. And it'd be very rare for them to go into the final day and not having anything to play for, so they can really just enjoy this occasion. Although, obviously they'd like to go out with a win.
Yeah, Wolves, not a great deal to say about them really. They're already gone. There's rumours actually that Terry Connor's been interviewed for the manager's position, which, given his record since being in charge there, is very, very hard to believe, really. And they've got players that are going to be set to leave, aren't they? Likes of Kitely, Fletcher, Doyle, Jarvis, players like that. It's going to be difficult to keep hold of them, and it could really be testing times for Wolves, I think. So what are you going for in this one?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go for a bit of a surprise result. I think that Wolves might nick the points. I think just because now they're already down, I just think they might frustrate their fans even further by putting in a good away performance, whereas Wigan will be a lot more relaxed than they expected to be. So I'm actually going to go for Wigan 1, Wolves 2.
Yeah, I can't see a Wolves win, to be honest. I mean, I think Wigan they're going to go into the game on confidence, wanting to win one last game, and I've gone Wigan 2, Wolves 1.